The chapter opens on a scene from Jo-yoon's past life at the headquarters of the Heavenly Demon Cult, a place where he had once thrived and dedicated himself. The overlapping mountain peaks and the hazy moonlight cast an ethereal, almost bewitching atmosphere over the landscape. Here, Jo-yoon is drinking with Hwa-rin-cheon, the heavenly demon herself. Holding her wine cup, Hwa-rin's eyes grow somber as thoughts dance in her mind. Perhaps it's because the moon is so bright tonight, but the wine tastes exceptionally good. It would be even better if you were truly drinking with me. What a pity. Hearing her words, Jo-yoon remains silent, not offering a reply. He turns his head forward, pretending as if nothing was said and ignoring the heavenly demon's words. Her face shows her displeasure. A moment later, Hwa-rin flicks her foot, splashing water onto Jo-yoon to get his attention. "Your gaze is strange today, Captain." Jo-yoon gently wipes away the droplets of water and speaks. "If it makes you uncomfortable, then I apologize." Hwa-rin immediately replies, "There's no need to apologize. I'm not bothered by such trivial things." She picks up the wine bottle and slowly pours it into her cup. "Sometimes you give me a very strange feeling, Captain. It's as if you're looking at someone else through me. Am I wrong? You must be thinking of the girl you've held in your heart for so many years. You can't fool me." Hearing this, Jo-yoon no longer tries to be evasive. "I apologize." It must have been very painful. If the Demon Sword Maiden, the one who died in your place back then, knew about this, she would be heartbroken. I understand. I will stop these personal thoughts. However, I am still curious about one thing. If that girl who has captured your mind were to die by my hand, I wonder if your mind would remain so steady. I truly want to find out. Hwa-rin's face brightens, a smile ever present, hiding the mysterious true thoughts behind it. The scene shifts back to the familiar Mount Hua, where flower petals dance in the wind. Jo-yoon is trying to drag his weary feet up the mountain. Climbing this damned mountain. Are the people of Mount Hua insane? I can't understand why they'd build their sect on a mountain this high. Are they obsessed with building stairs? What a bunch of bastards. After the arduous climb, Jo-yoon has a conversation with Jongnam-baek, the sect leader of Mount Hua. "Ah, I heard that the divine doctor is able to walk again. Is that right?" "Yes. Fortunately, his injuries weren't too severe, so everything is fine," the elder says, stroking his beard with a calm voice. "To have you caught up in something like this, as the sect leader, I apologize." "It's all right, I'm fine. Besides, isn't this the time for the Fire War Festival? That must be an important event for Mount Hua, correct? Has the festival begun smoothly?" "It was supposed to have started, but due to a few incidents, it has been postponed for a few days." Postponed? What happened?" "You needn't worry. It will be resolved soon enough." A major rare event for Mount Hua is being postponed? Could it be because of the missing disciples? Jo-yoon thinks to himself. The sect leader then stands up to leave. "In any case, Jo-yoon, I feel sorry for you. Even though you say you're fine, you must have exerted yourself. Please get some good rest. I'll visit you again when I have the time." Hearing this, Jo-yoon breaks into a sweat. "There's no need, sir. You are so busy. It would be better for me to come see you." Though he maintains a pleasant expression, the sect leader is eager to see his guest leave. "Meet again? I already gave you the plum blossom jade, so hurry up and go home," he thinks. But wait. Speaking of which, I believe someone is waiting to see you. You should go out and check." "Huh? Someone's waiting for me?" Images flash through Jo-yoon's mind. Who could it be? Nam-gung-bi? Or maybe Yong-hwa? Don't tell me it's Lee Yung-pyong. If it's a guy, that's a little boring. With his thoughts sorted, Jo-yoon quickly heads outside, finding himself standing under a cherry blossom tree in full, brilliant pink bloom. He stretches, breathing in the air. The air is amazing up here. He looks around. But there's no one here. Why did he say someone was waiting? Suddenly, a figure peeking out from a distance caught Jo-yoon's attention. He whipped his head around, but only saw an empty wall. He was speechless at his sister's childish antics. "What are you doing over there?" Yonghwa's face flushed with embarrassment. "Do I really have to do this?" "I have to." "What on earth are you mumbling about?" Jo-yoon asked. Nothing." She stepped in front of Jo-yoon, looking shy.
Listen carefully. I'm only going to say this once. Are you okay?
Huh?
I asked if you are okay. Okay with what? I mean, has your body fully recovered?
Hearing this, Jo-yoon snapped.
My God, why are you whispering? If something was wrong, I wouldn't have come here. Thanks for last time. What was that? Speak up. Who can hear you when you mumble like that? You're so annoying. I said, thank you. Do you hear me now?
She shrieked, her face right next to his ear. As soon as the words were out, Manhua turned and fled, leaving Jo-yoon still fuming.
Are you crazy? Why are you suddenly screaming like that?
You're being too loud, a voice said. Namgung-bi emerged from inside and spoke. She was probably just embarrassed to say thank you. You should let it go. These two kids, if you're going to thank someone, at least do it sincerely, Jo-yoon grumbled. He pointed to Namgung-bi's arm and asked, What happened to your arm?
Oh, it's nothing. I just have to wear this when I go out.
What? Is it a serious injury?
I'm fine. I only have to wear it until tomorrow, then I can take it off. But hey, are you really okay?
Understanding the hidden meaning in her question, Jo-yoon remembered that day. If Namgung-bi hadn't stopped him in time, he might have reverted to the bloodthirsty monster he was in his past life. He spoke softly. I'm better now. And about that time. Thank you for stopping me. Namgung-bi's face showed utter astonishment. She couldn't believe Jo-yoon would say such words.
What? Why is your reaction so strange? I just wanted to thank the person who helped me. If you don't like it, I'll find something else to repay you with next time.
Before he could finish his sentence, Namgung-bi placed a hand on his arm.
No, it's not necessary. I really liked it.
Her answer left Jo-yoon feeling a bit awkward as well.
To be honest, I don't remember much about what happened then. I just remember someone was by my side. It was you, so I thought I should thank you. Because of you, my little sister is safe, so...
Namgung-bi's face flushed red with embarrassment. She quickly turned away, even though Jo-yoon still had more to say. In an instant, her figure vanished into the distance.
Wait, where are you running off to? What is wrong with girls these days?
Time passed. Once again, Jo-yoon found himself climbing another mountain, this one where the divine doctor resided. He lay sprawled on the ground, exhausted. Damn it! What is this will of Manhua nonsense? If I see that old man spouting his gibberish again, I'll teach him a lesson. But wait, that old man? Ever since the fight with that guy, no matter how many times I've called, he hasn't answered. Where did he disappear to? While Jo-yoon was still lying flat on the ground, a figure suddenly appeared. It was none other than Ji-hak. He looked down at Jo-yoon with a sinister smile. Jo-yoon spoke up. Why are you here? Are you laughing at me? He clumsily got to his feet, wondering if Ji-hak had come in place of the divine doctor to check on the Sword Maiden's condition. But isn't that guy mute? In my past life, he could clearly speak. Something isn't right here. Memories of this strategist from his past life flooded back. Those who dare to defy the heavenly demon's will, those who dare to raise their swords and deny his ideals, will all meet the same end: death. Those who once roamed through forests of mirrors and mountains of blades are now nothing but a foul stench of blood. The entire world, the 9 provinces and 8 wildernesses, now lies at the feet of the heavenly demon. Our unity will grow ever stronger, like tempered steel, unshakable. What is he planning? I absolutely cannot let my guard down. The Sword Maiden, lying on her sickbed, also wondered, Who's there? Jo-yoon clasped his hands in a formal greeting. I am Yang Chun. I've come to pay my respects to the Sword Maiden. So, it's you. Come in, quickly. Myong swiftly entered, not forgetting to bump the strategist's shoulder on his way in. Then, I'll take my leave. I heard you were caught up in some unpleasant business, but I'm glad to see you're all right, the Sword Saint said softly. Thank you for your concern. My apologies, son. It's improper of me to receive a guest like this. It's all right. Please don't worry about it. Suddenly, a strange sensation enveloped Myong's body. What is this?
I heard you saved Ryuhua, is that right? You've done a great thing, the Sword Saint continued. I've definitely felt this before. Ryuhua now has a reliable older brother she can depend on. Myong didn't respond, lost in his own thoughts. There's no doubt about it. This energy, it's demonic energy, the purest demonic energy in the world, on par with the heavenly demon of old. Could the illness slowly consuming the Sword Saint's body be this very thing? Why would something like this be inside her body? Could it be? She fought the heavenly demon in the past? Demonic energy isn't something one can suppress simply by enduring it. And yet, she has held on to this extent while the demonic energy rages so violently inside her. If only I had met you a little sooner, the Sword Saint lamented. At the very least, I should have treated you to a proper meal. It's really all right. The Sword Saint placed a hand on Myong. After all, you are my friend's child. If I were still healthy, you wouldn't have had to see me like this. I wish things were different. Her words made Myong seriously consider what he could do. Suddenly, his body felt a strange phenomenon. The streams of demonic energy were being rapidly absorbed upon contact with him. What is this? Is this the heavenly demon suction art? Myong thought to himself as he looked down at his hand. Can it even absorb demonic energy from another person's body? This damned thing. Suddenly, the divine doctor's voice boomed from behind. Heavens! I told you to keep the door closed. The draft is getting in. He looked towards Myong and the Sword Saint and asked, What are you two doing? The scene shifts to Ryuhua. She was desperately practicing her sword forms. Every swing was accompanied by a weary breath, sweat rolling down her cheeks. I must become stronger. She unleashed a flurry of strikes. Though they weren't perfect, they were proof of her effort. The memory of the bandit who had come to Manhua looking for the divine doctor kept replaying in her mind. My, this wasn't in the plan. To think a beauty would fall from the sky like this. What good is that flimsy little twig anyway? Just ignore it. That memory pushed Ryuhua to train relentlessly, but doubt still lingered. Can I really accomplish anything with just this? Get a hold of yourself, Ryuhua. You can't help with anything right now. Run! I cast aside my pride as a martial artist, my responsibility, and my honor. Just to run away. I'm so useless. I can't do anything right. You're pathetic, Ryuhua. This isn't the image of a martial artist my master spoke of. Suddenly, Yang Peng's voice called out. Ninth young lady, are you training? Ryuhua turned to him, exhausted. Aren't you pushing yourself too hard? He asked, offering her a water flask. Here, have some water while you train. You can drink it all if you want. Gazing at Yang Peng's face, Ryuhua thought, he's the youngest swordsman of Mount Hua. His swordsmanship is exceptional. If it were him back then, he definitely wouldn't have run away. Is something wrong, ninth young lady? If it weren't for your brother, we would have been in real trouble a long time ago. When he wakes up, be sure to thank him for me. But, isn't it incredible? Yang Peng said. What do you mean? A demonic practitioner that even young Lady Namgung couldn't handle, yet your brother managed to subdue him. What kind of power and technique is that? I knew his energy felt complex, but I never imagined he could wield it like that. He's become that strong? Ryuhua thought in disbelief. That lazy and selfish Yi Chun? Everyone else is walking the path of a warrior, while I've just been clinging to master and acting spoiled. Right. Guru Hua, if you only know how to run and hide, how will you ever make that plum blossom bloom? She bent down and picked up her sword with a determined expression. I will never give up. Seeing this, Yang Peng smiled. Ah, are you going to continue? In that case, I'll just leave this here. Remember to return it later. You don't have to. Please don't mind me, Ryuhua said hastily as she walked past him. Seeing her reaction, Yang Peng was left completely bewildered. Did I do something wrong? Ryuhua ran off, muttering, I'm sorry, Taoist Yang Peng. Her master's guidance echoed in her heart, leading her forward.
Ryuhua, my child, you don't need to rush. It doesn't matter what martial path you walk, whether it's sorrow, pain, or even jealousy and envy, until a true plum blossom petal blooms from the tip of the sword you've chosen. On that day, show me what you've achieved. I will be by your side to celebrate your efforts and hardships. The scene shifts to that evening. The moon shone brightly as always. Ryuhua hurried to the Sword Saint's room, worried. It's already dark. I hope Master isn't skipping her meal again. Just as her hand was about to touch the door, the divine doctor's voice erupted from within.
Stop talking nonsense. I'm being serious here. That voice. It's Guangchun, she thought, remembering how she had shouted in Myong's ear that morning. Did he come here for revenge? Damn it, why now? What should I do? Inside the room, the argument was growing more heated. You expect me to believe that? What do you know about medicine to be saying such things? The divine doctor yelled. I've already told you. This is beyond the scope of medicine, Myong retorted. This insolent brat, you're truly stubborn. If you're not going to use medicine to cure her, then what do you plan to use, huh? You don't even understand what you're saying. Yes, I understand perfectly what I'm saying, Myong stated calmly. If we use my method, I might be able to cure the Sword Saint's illness. Hearing those words, Ryuhua's expression changed instantly. She kicked the door open and rushed inside, her voice filled with urgency. Is that true? Brother, can you really cure my master's illness? The people inside stared at her, utterly shocked. Gu Ryuhua? Brother, can you truly cure my master's illness? Ryuhua rushed into the room, her voice urgent after hearing what Myong had said. What you just said. Brother, can you really truly cure my master? In response, Myong simply said, I'm not certain. What? Ryuhua's hope faltered. Then, what do you plan to do? This is something even the divine doctor has given up on. Myong remained silent, his thoughts racing. After careful consideration, he spoke, his voice firm and filled with determination. If the divine doctor permits it, I will treat the Sword Saint's chronic illness. Sensing the gravity of the situation, the Sword Saint interjected. Yichun, before anything else, it would be better if you explained what you intend to do. I will use my Gu family's secret art, Myong began his lie. The Gu family can use heat energy to expel foul energy from the body. From what I can feel, the illness shortening the Sword Saint's life seems to be caused by some kind of energy. Hearing this, the divine doctor's eyes widened in shock. He had known this for some time but had no way of removing it from her body. When I touched the Sword Saint's hand, Myong continued, I could feel the energy that is eroding her body flowing within. Coincidentally, my 9 Flames Wheel art can push back that foul energy. The Sword Saint coughed weakly. The Gu family's art is that effective? I don't seem to recall. Of course you don't, Myong thought. The 9 Flames Wheel has nothing to do with this. This is all the work of the heavenly demon's suction art. But if I don't say it like this, they won't believe me, right? I have to convince them first and figure out the rest later. If I back down now, the Sword Saint will surely be unable to withstand the demonic energy and will die sooner or later. Even if she were to survive by some miracle, she would go into seclusion, abandoning the world. That's what happened in my past life. He wasn't sure if saving the Sword Saint and altering the future was the right thing to do, but then Ryuhua's hands gently tugged at his sleeve. Brother, you can really save her, right? Her eyes were red with emotion, her voice trembling. Please, save her. Please, save my master. Seeing this, Myong thought, good grief. You only call me brother when you need something, don't you, you little brat? Still, her plea solidified his resolve. So please, divine doctor, allow me to treat the Sword Saint. The old doctor was silent for a moment before replying, Let's assume, as you said, that the Gu family's art can repel that energy. Even so, that art wasn't created to save people, was it? What if the art damages her internal energy and kills her right here? Can you bear the heavy responsibility of that failure? But we can't just sit by and do nothing, can we? Ryuhua interrupted. We have to try every possible way.
Before she could finish, the divine doctor roared in anger. "Don't speak so recklessly. Do you have any idea what you're saying? That's no different from gambling with a patient's life." Suddenly, the Sword Saint's calm voice cut through the tension. "Can't you trust him just this once? Besides, I cannot accept simply withering away like this. You've already tried every method, haven't you, divine doctor? And as Yi-chun said, my body did feel a slight change. At this rate, I think it's worth a try." She turned to Myung and spoke softly. "Yi-chun, no matter how bad the outcome, it won't be your fault, so don't blame yourself. I don't have much time left anyway. For once, I want to try believing in my own will." Defeated, the divine doctor could no longer object. He sighed wearily. "If anything goes wrong, I will intervene immediately." The two sat upright on the floor, preparing for the purification. Myung's expression was incredibly tense under the immense weight on his shoulders. He looked down at his hands and thought, "In my past life, these hands took the lives of hundreds, thousands of people. But now, they can save someone." Anyone else who heard this would think it was a joke. His hands trembled, a pressure he had never felt before. Is this what the divine doctor called responsibility? Even so, I've come this far. I have to do it. If I just stand by and watch things unfold as they did before, nothing will change from my past life. I won't be able to protect anything. He placed his hands on the Sword Saint's back. Immediately, streams of demonic energy latched onto him. With every pulse of energy that entered his body, it felt like he was shouldering dozens of heavy boulders. The pressure only grew. After penetrating the demonic energy occupying the Sword Saint's body, Myung was overwhelmed. What is this immense amount of demonic energy? It has obscured almost everything. At the center of it all, the Sword Saint was still desperately fighting the massive energy that was eating away at her body. It was so vast that even approaching her core was no simple task. The energy enveloped her entire being, slowly siphoning her life force, leading to a slow and painful death. Myung pushed forward, his thoughts in chaos. This is not good. One small mistake and it's all over instantly. Can my body even absorb and withstand something this terrifying? That's right. This is no time for hesitation. Even if I have to risk my life, I have to do this. Isn't this the penance for my own karma? Vanish, all of you damned things. Myung unleashed a circle of fire at the Sword Saint's feet. It immediately blazed to life, rapidly expanding outwards. Myung poured all his strength into this gamble. If it failed, not only the Sword Saint, but he himself would be in grave danger. In an instant, the flames incinerated all the surrounding streams of demonic energy. Even the parasites clinging to the Sword Saint were quickly engulfed and burned fiercely. They were gradually reduced to ash and vanished, freeing the Sword Saint's body that had been imprisoned for so long. Finally, the day that sword can be drawn again has returned, before it was too late. Soon, plum blossoms will fill this land. Back in the physical world, after absorbing all the demonic energy, Myung's body was overloaded. He staggered backward, his body swaying. The purification was complete, and his consciousness began to fade into a blur. But the sounds around him echoed, "Yi-chun! Yi-chun!" The last thing he saw before he passed out was the image of everyone turning to look at him. The scene shifts back to Kia. The little girl was practicing her swordsmanship under someone's guidance. "Raise the sword higher." The girl strained to follow the instructions precisely. "Yes, is this all right?" "Yes, that's it. Well done. You've improved a lot compared to when you started." It was none other than the sword fiend, Gion-Ah. She was manifesting as a spiritual form, teaching her past self the way of the sword. "It's all thanks to you, big sis. When I told Grandpa about learning martial arts, he scolded me terribly. I was so sad then. But that's when you appeared to help me. Don't cry anymore. Who's there?" "That was when you appeared and extended a hand to help me. 'I'll teach you swordsmanship, so don't cry anymore,' you said. 'I used to be scared when you took over my body, but now I like you even more than Grandpa.'" Before she could finish, The familiar voice of the Sword Saint boomed from somewhere nearby.
You insolent child!
Seeing him appear, Jonsei vanished to avoid affecting the past.
I told you not to touch a sword, didn't I?
Kia hastily hid the wooden sword, flustered.
Wait, Grandpa? I was just practicing a little.
His face was filled with anger. It seemed a harsh scolding was about to unfold. Back to Myung. He was lying in a sickbed, needles stuck all over his body. After passing out from exhaustion, he had finally woken up. Myung quickly sat up and looked around.
Huh? The Sword Saint? The Divine Doctor? Where did everyone go?
A familiar sensation ran through his body.
Damn it.
Right. This disgusting feeling. It seems I've completely absorbed that insane demonic energy. He quickly threw on his clothes and strode outside. Is the Sword Saint all right? I should go find her first. He opened the door and looked out into the courtyard. There, he saw only Ryu Hua's silhouette, standing under a cherry blossom tree, its petals blooming brilliantly and scattering in the wind. She seemed to be gazing at something, not even noticing Myung calling out to her. This made him curious, and he looked up at the sky. There, he saw the figure of a person, dancing in the air with graceful and overwhelming sword strokes. Tears of joy on Ryu Hua's face seemed to say it all. The one flying through the air was none other than the Sword Saint. She had regained her strength. Her face was vibrant, no longer gaunt and exhausted like before. With a powerful push off the air, the Sword Saint's figure soared high into the sky. Witnessing this, Myung's face filled with astonishment. Is that bone transformation and body refinement? No. This is simply returning to her original form. The Sword Saint unleashed one of Manhua's ultimate techniques, drawing 2 slashes across the sky. They were so powerful they sliced through the clouds, leaving 2 impressive marks. Following them, plum blossom petals gently fell, heralding the return of a legend. After her performance, she landed on the ground and approached Myung.
You're finally awake, Yichun. There's one thing I've wanted to say to you first and foremost since you woke up. Thank you so much, Yichun. It's thanks to you that I can once again hold my sword like this. The Sword Saint gave a happy smile, her affectionate and beautiful gaze unchanged. Myung grew flustered at her words, stammering, It was nothing, I just... He really wasn't used to such a sentimental atmosphere. Suddenly, 2 needles on his head were pulled out by someone using internal energy. Well done, kid. You really did absorb all the foul energy from the Sword Saint's body. The more I look, the more I can't believe it. Let me verify just what that technique of yours is. The Divine Doctor's cold gaze sent a shiver down Myung's spine. This old man is so annoying. The 2 began a game of cat and mouse, with the Sword Saint and Ryu Hua watching. Hey, stop right there. Come on, stop chasing me. Seeing the scene, the Sword Saint simply smiled gently. It was as if she saw her past self in that boy. Time flies. At the dinner table in her room, young Lady Namgung seemed quite annoyed. Where did you sleep last night? The sudden question made Myung choke. He coughed violently under Namgung's interrogation. I asked, where did you sleep? Myung calmed himself, thinking, what the hell? She sounds like a wife catching her husband cheating. Well, she is my fiancée, after all. I was just training all night. I got tired while training and fell asleep on the spot. Namgung's face remained stern. Is that really all? I'm telling the truth. But why am I the one getting scolded? She put her chopsticks down on the table and said, At the very least, you could have sent a message. I was worried sick when you were out late. Next time, let me know beforehand. With that, she turned and left. Hey, where are you going in the middle of a meal? To train. Oh man, I really thought my heart stopped just from worrying. Myung's gaze shifted to Kiyoseo, who had been eating silently without a word. What's wrong with you? Why are you eating so quietly today? Just as he spoke, Kiyoseo burst into tears. She wailed and sobbed uncontrollably. Oh my God, so gross. What are you doing? Strange sounds mixed together. Hick, ka, kak, hick. Grandpa, Hick, I told him not to. I can't do it. Why did he have to yell at me so horribly? Why? I can't understand a single thing this kid is saying. Myong covered her mouth and said loudly, What on earth are you even saying? Swallow what's in your mouth before you speak. Seriously, this is exhausting. So many things happening at once. My head is already pounding, and now this kid? The demonic energy raging inside my body is a huge problem too. And the fact that the tiny old man has gone completely silent is also bothering me. Perhaps that voice I heard when I absorbed the demonic energy is the reason. Hurry up and eat. It's delicious. Could it be related to the disappearance of that Manhua old man? Come to think of it, he once mentioned he was sealing something inside my body. Could he have been devoured by that thing instead? It's not impossible. While Myong was lost in thought, a voice called from outside. Young master, it's Hong Wol. Oh? What is it? A visitor has come to see you, young master. A visitor? Who is it? The door opened and Ryu Hua stood there shyly. It's me. I'm sorry to bother you during your meal, brother. It's you, kid? Myong pointed his chopsticks at her. Hey, isn't it hard enough just getting up and down that hill? Why did you have to trudge all the way down here? You're so loud. It was my idea. So what? Master said she's gradually regaining her old internal energy, so about you treating her. She wanted to express her gratitude. You keep making me indebted to you. Hearing this, Myong fell silent. He picked up his chopsticks and calmly continued his meal. Good grief. You came all this way just to say that? You really are hopelessly idle. Look, master. Look at the way he's talking. Enough already, Ryu Hua. Hearing footsteps approaching, Myong was startled. What? Master? The debt of saving a life is a grave one. Wow, what a beautiful big sister. Is a simple word of thanks truly enough? The sword saint had returned in her old Manhua uniform. Her vibrant and radiant appearance was a world away from how she looked just a few days ago. No one could have predicted it. Even the world-renowned divine doctor was helpless before the plum blossom sword saint's dreadful illness, and yet Yang Xin had cured her. Not just improved, but completely and utterly healed. The next morning, while the boy was having his breakfast, uninvited guests suddenly appeared. It was none other than Yan Hua and the plum blossom sword saint. The moment he saw her step inside, Yang Xin froze for a full 5 seconds, utterly astonished. Before him stood a peerless beauty, capable of toppling nations. Her once silver-white hair had transformed into a cascade of silky black locks that shimmered in the morning sun. The wrinkles on her face had vanished without a trace, and her skin was as fair and firm as a young woman in her 20s. Compared to before, it was truly like a phoenix reborn from the ashes. Seeing Yang Xin's dumbfounded expression, the sword saint spoke softly. You seem to be quite startled, don't you? Yang Xin awkwardly scratched his head and replied with a forced laugh, It's a relief to see you're still in good health. The plum blossom sword. Saint is so much younger now, it's as if she's been reborn. Every gesture, every breath is brimming with vitality, as if the years never touched her. Her gaze flickered over to Yang Xin, as if she could see right through the thoughts in his head. I didn't expect to recover this quickly myself. In just a few days, my appearance has changed so much that I can hardly recognize myself. Yang Xin nodded, his eyes still tinged with surprise. So does this mean you've completely recovered now? The sword saint smiled. What do you think? You look very well, Yang Xin said. Much, much better than when I visited you in your hermitage. Beside them, Seola was still staring blankly at the sword saint's transcendent beauty, her eyes sparkling like a fawn's at dawn, unwilling to look away for even a moment. The sword saint gracefully pulled out a chair and sat down, her voice calm. My reason for coming here is nothing other than feeling the need to repay you. Yang Xin, if there is anything you desire, speak frankly. This life was saved by you, so it can be entrusted to you at any time. As soon as she finished speaking, Yanhua, standing beside her, exclaimed in shock, Master, but...
However, the Sword Saint's gaze was incredibly stern, allowing no one to interrupt. Yang Xin grew flustered and quickly waved his hands. "It was so difficult to save you, and the first thing you do is offer up your life? How can I accept that?" The Sword Saint let out a bright laugh, as radiant as the morning sun. "It's all right. After all, it was a life that was already on the brink of death. You just need to state your wish. Whatever it is, I will grant it." Yang Xin hesitated slightly, a thoughtful glint in his eyes. "But on what basis are you so certain that you'll grant whatever I ask?" Before he could finish, the Sword Saint gently placed her fair white hand on his, cutting him off. "Because I know that whatever you ask, it will not be something wicked that harms the innocent. You are not that kind of person." However, a storm was brewing in Yang Xin's heart. He lowered his gaze, dark memories from his past life cutting into his mind like a sharp blade. The voices of the past echoed in his head, the one who burned the Manhua sect to the ground, turning all its disciples to ash. That was me. The image of that bloody massacre appeared vividly, the fire, the blood, the screams reverberating in his mind like an indelible scar. My failure to protect Yonhua. It wasn't their fault. I just needed someone to vent my anger on. Seeing Yang Xin's silence and the flicker of hesitation in his eyes, the Sword Saint smiled gently and continued, "If you can't think of anything right now, you can tell me later. In that case, I have something I'd like to ask you." With that, she glanced at the others around them, her tone soft yet firm. "Even though you're in the middle of a meal, would you all mind stepping out for a moment? I wish to speak with Yang Xin privately." Seola, who was happily eating, suddenly froze. Yonhua spoke up, confused, a hint of unease in her eyes. "Do I have to leave too, Master?" The Sword Saint turned to her gently, a smile like a spring breeze on her lips. "I just have a few private matters to ask your brother. Yonhua, you should step out for a little while too." Yonhua reluctantly bowed her head and slowly walked away. As for Seola, whether she was truly naive or just pretending, she remained firmly in her seat. With one hand, she slurped her noodles noisily, and with the other, she covered her ears, laughing innocently. "If I sit here and eat with the door closed, does that count as private?" Yang Xin frowned, annoyed, and looked at her, his voice a warning. "Aren't you leaving?" Seola remained unfazed. "I'm eating. You're talking. I'm not bothering anyone." Before she could finish, Yang Xin suddenly launched a direct kick. Whack! Seola went flying out of the room like a kite with a broken string, only managing to yelp, "Ah, I was just asking." Inside the room, only the two of them remained. The Sword Saint leaned back in her chair, took a sip of tea, and smiled leisurely. "What a rare, warm scene. It's been a long time since I've felt this sense of family." Yang Xin thought to himself, exasperated, "You call what just happened warm?" The Sword Saint continued slowly, her voice tinged with nostalgia. "Your mother and I were just like that back then. We would laugh together, sometimes argue over trivial things, and then make up as if nothing had ever happened." She sighed softly, her gaze growing distant. "Well then, let's get straight to the point." The Sword Saint's eyes became serious, her voice lowering. "I want to ask about your memories. Specifically, the memories related to your mother's final moments." Yang Xin flinched. He was too young then. Everything was just hazy fragments, like a thin mist veiling the painting of the past. Within his family, what happened that year was hidden away like a forbidden archive that no one was allowed to open. The Sword Saint's voice was gentle yet urgent. "Whatever you can remember, even the smallest detail, please tell me everything." Yang Xin froze, his gaze unfocused. His throat felt tight as a deep-seated pain slowly welled up from the bottom of his heart. He hesitated. "That was many years ago." The sky was gray, snow falling as if to blanket the entire world. The cold wind howled, chilling him to the bone. Yang Xin, still just a frail child, stood shivering beside his father, his lips purple, his small hands clasped tightly together. Before him, an elegant female figure stood silently amidst the white snow. It was his mother. Her choked voice rang out through the biting wind. "I'm ready." Yang Xin shivered, confused, and spoke up. "Why are you showing me this? Why go to such lengths? What in the world do you want from me?" His father stood beside him, his voice as cold as ice. "Nothing. I only wish for you to live." Those casual words were like daggers stabbing into the boy's young heart. Yang Xin forced himself to endure the suffocating pain, his small heart pounding erratically in the freezing cold. His mother looked at him affectionately, her voice trembling. "Yang Xin, I entrust Manhua to you," his father said. "If you're ready, I will open it." In midair, a spatial rift slowly opened, a mysterious aura radiating from it, both cold and sacred. Yang Xin stood there, stunned. His mother was emotional, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry," Yang Xin screamed in pain, his small legs dashing towards her. "No, Mother! Please don't go! Where are you going? Why are you leaving me behind?" But it was too late. The spatial gate slowly closed, swallowing his mother's form into the void. Her figure vanished right before his eyes, leaving behind no explanation. Yang Xin collapsed in the snow, screaming in despair. "Mother! Mother!" His heart-wrenching cries echoed in the cold winter air. Behind him, his father remained still as a statue, his expression impassive, not shedding a single tear, not offering a single word of comfort. His voice rang out, as cold as a judgment from the depths of hell. "Consider the tear you just shed to be the last of your life. From now on, even if you want to cry, you are not allowed." Yang Xin turned his head, his tear-filled eyes questioning. "Tell me, where did Mother go? Where are you?" His father only sighed, his gaze dark. "Follow me. I have something to show you." A heavy cellar door opened, a blast of icy air hitting his face. His father's voice echoed in the dark space. "Look closely. This is the reason for the Jin family's existence. It is also the karma that we must bear for our entire lives." In that moment, Yang Xin seemed to understand. That bitter winter was nothing. The rest of his life would just be a long journey down to the endless human hell. Back in the present, Yang Xin remained silent for a long time after the Sword Saint's question. Finally, he spoke slowly, his voice hoarse. "I can't say." The Sword Saint frowned, pressing him. "Then, does that thing exist somewhere in this world?" Yang Xin was flustered, stammering. "I can't say that either. Even if you ask again, my answer will not change." The Sword Saint stood up. "Good. I understand. Then I won't ask any more." Then she gently ruffled Yang Xin's hair comfortingly. "My apologies. I may have touched upon a painful memory." "Ah, that's right. I vaguely remember hearing that a lovely young lady often helps Manhua. Was that the young lady who was sitting next to you earlier?" Yang Xin was a bit surprised and let out a naive laugh. "A lovely young lady, you say?" The Sword Saint squinted in surprise, tilting her head as if in thought. "It wasn't her? On closer look, she seems a bit too young to be called a young lady. Then who could it be?" Yang Xin just smiled evasively. "I'm not too sure about that either." In his heart, he was confused. Manhua would say something like that? It doesn't suit her at all. If it's someone I taught swordsmanship to, she must be talking about Namgung Pyong-ah. The Sword Saint quickly changed the subject. "Well, that's enough of that. You should be returning to the Jin family soon, shouldn't you? When do you plan to depart?" Yang Xin replied, "I plan to set off immediately. Manhua said she doesn't intend to return." Is that so, Manhua?" Hearing her name called, Manhua rushed in. "Yes, master." But before she could even enter, the Sword Saint quickly stepped out, blocking her way, her voice stern. "Do you truly have no intention of returning home?" Manhua was startled and flustered. Yes. It's because I'm still worried about you, master, so—" The Sword Saint cut her off. "Even so, shouldn't you at least make a trip back?" Manhua was conflicted. not wanting to return, and stammered, "But—" The sword saint continued, If your heart is still so troubled, I suppose it can't be helped. In that case, what do you think of this? I will go back to the Jin family with you." At this sudden proposal, Yang Xin was so shocked he nearly fainted. Yanhua's reaction, however, was the complete opposite. Her eyes lit up as if she had just won the lottery, her joy impossible to hide.